Hi, I'm Kai, and today we are painting the small boss rat Krittok Foulblade, a verminous boss for a verminous army. Going right in with the 50-50 mix of burnt red and sunny skin tone, we are painting the base color for all the skin of the rats. Krittok has 4 total rats below his skirt, 2 medium-sized and 2 small rats. This is the base color, so we are applying the paints thicker in these parts. We will be painting all the base colors first before doing all the layers and details. After painting all the skin, we now proceed to his armor and banner. I painted all his armor and banner gory red for the base color. I just painted these parts fast, not thinking too much about the overlapping paints. I'm still experimenting what process would go best, so I am trying to color all the base colors first. I am treating the base colors as shadows for this mini. We also painted the banners and the thing below the banner the same color as his armor. The thing below the banner is metal, but we opted to color it red so it would reflect as rust when we get into the details. Next part that we are doing are the rats' fur, so we mixed 50% black with 50% deck tan to produce a darker gray. For his cloak, I used the Japanese uniform World War II for our base, then reapplied the same color in the lower parts so it would stay wet. Wet blending with parasite brown towards the lower parts of the cloak gave us a nice color gradient of yellow to orange, adding some color variation. I am applying the parasite brown only on the lower parts of his cloak so it would read as dirt or weathering. Once they dry, we went in again with Japanese uniform and painted the parts of the cloak that is facing up towards the light to give it a solid yellow color. We keep on layering the Japanese uniform until we reach a nice yellow to orange cloak. I gave his cloak a little bit of a comic-y vibe, adding scratchy textures using ice yellow. This would be our details and highlights, making sure that we are only applying them on the highest points of the folds. Onto the face details, we painted Krittok's feature sunny skin tone, not blending too much but giving his face some texture. I then used a clean deck tan on the tips of his fur, emphasizing that they are sticking out. Krittok is an old frugal rat, so painting his fur gray and his face with texture adds character to the mini. I painted the details of his armor scarlet blood, using also random streaks for texture. We applied it carefully so we wouldn't totally cover the base color of his armor, making sure that you can still see the gory red base color since those would also be the shadows of this mini. Finally, we painted the tips of his armor ice yellow to give it somewhat of a crisp shine when we look at it at a distance. This is my personal army and not for display, so we will be looking at them at a distance while we play anyway. Moving on to this old rat's weapon, the Doomfang. I used dark green as my base color, We will only apply this on the parts that are raised, so the blacks will still show, giving it a somewhat non-metallic metal finish on this blade. Laying the lighter shades of the weapon, we added Scorpy Green, painting the surface smaller than the previous dark green that we painted. This is a 50-50 mix of dark green and Scorpy Green just to add a lighter layer on his blade. I then went in again and layered some parts with a clean Scorpy Green. We painted lime green on the parts that are nearest to the light source and parts that are facing up towards the sky. On all the metallic parts of this mini, we will be using turquoise. Since we painted lots of warm tones for this mini, painting turquoise would make the metal parts noticeable, giving contrast to his armor and banners. I really like using a blue or dark blue for my metals since gray tones are kinda dark and it makes the minis muddy. For the highlights, we will keep on using ice yellow, the same as what we did on his armor. As you can see, we already attached Krittok's banner and painting some parts scarlet blood. We only applied scarlet blood on the areas above the banner and the folds that would be hit by the lighting. The metal part, of course, is turquoise. As I have said before, this is what I assumed metal, so I painted streaks or scratches to give it texture. The red undertone gave it a look that is weathered, almost like rust, and it also gave contrast from the banner. The banner have skulls, so we painted them Xandri dust on all of them. This is a lighter color, so it would take you 2 to 3 layers to cover all the skulls. For the details, we will be mixing ice yellow with Xandri dust to produce a lighter shade. This was the only Citadel paint I own at this time, but our friend gave us a few bottles of his own, so maybe I can use them on our next videos. After finishing the skulls, we freehand painted the sigils on the banner. It was my first time doing this, so I was kinda nervous, but it went okay. Now that it's all done, we will just make the base off cam, so here's how it looks.